What if I told you that maxing out your Clash of Clans account is now more achievable than ever? In a game that's been around for over a decade, max level used to feel almost impossible to attain. But now, Supercell actually wants their players to get there faster than ever before. But why the sudden change? What made Supercell change their mind over the years, and what could it mean for the future of Clash of Clans? Is it really possible for a new account to catch up without spending millions of dollars? Let's dive in and find out. In Clash of Clans, upgrading has always been the essence of gameplay. Building stronger defenses, leveling up heroes, and upgrading troops, camps, and barracks all contribute to your success on both offense and defense. The satisfaction of constant improvement is a big part of what keeps players coming back. But imagine if there were no more upgrades left. You'd still be able to try out new attack strategies, but eventually, the gameplay could start to feel stale and repetitive. Supercell has known this from the start, which is why they've regularly added new town hall levels with fresh upgrades to keep players invested. However, recently they've made a surprising shift. Instead of focusing only on adding more and more upgrades, they've introduced changes to help players progress faster than ever before. A great tool to see how achievable maxing out is now is the Clash Ninja website, where players can track their progress in detail. For years, a player's journey to max level seemed endless. But now, thanks to various updates and reductions in upgrade times and costs, even a dedicated free-to-play player could reach the highest levels without a massive time or monetary investment. But why would Supercell do this? Isn't their primary revenue tied to players slowly progressing through upgrades? Why offer a big boost to catch up? To understand why Supercell shifted its strategy, it's useful to look back at Clash of Clans' early days. When the game first launched, maxing out was intentionally designed to feel like a distant, almost unreachable goal. At the time, Clash of Clans stood out as one of the only mobile games of its kind, and a huge part of its success was the flexing that came with high-level progress. Players could compare their progress with friends, classmates, or co-workers, and top players could showcase their maxed-out villages on YouTube, setting themselves apart from the average player. Over the years, it became clear that having such a lengthy journey to max level wasn't sustainable. New players could easily feel overwhelmed by the sheer number of town halls and upgrades, realizing that catching up might take years or require a hefty amount of money. To address this, Supercell rolled out the first ever time and cost reductions, making it faster and more affordable to progress through the lower town halls. This adjustment allowed players to advance more smoothly without getting stuck for long periods. However, for quite a while, Supercell kept the highest town halls more time-intensive to preserve a sense of accomplishment for top players. For instance, even after Town Hall 15 was introduced, players in Town Halls 13 and 14 still faced substantial upgrade times, keeping these upper levels challenging and rewarding to reach. Overall, this is a logical move for Supercell. Releasing new town halls creates excitement. But to keep everyone engaged, not just the top players, they've decided to reduce the time it takes to reach max level. However, to maintain a steady flow of new content, they've also increased the frequency of town hall releases, going from a release every 1.5 years to every year. This faster cycle allows players to stay engaged without feeling trapped in one town hall for too long. Now, obviously, with the faster game cycle, keeping the old upgrade times would have left players struggling to keep up, making progression nearly impossible without spending a fortune. That's where one of Supercell's greatest updates comes into play. In December 2023 and June 2024, Supercell rolled out incredible time and cost reduction updates. By listening to the community, they drastically reduced the time and cost of upgrades, finally giving players a real chance to catch up and stay competitive, without needing to spend millions. This strategy has had a complex impact on the player base. For mid-level players, those in Town Halls 11, 12, 13, and 14, the updates have been a game changer. These players can now move through Town Halls faster, without needing to spend money. But what about new players? Someone starting fresh may initially feel intimidated by the 20 Town Halls ahead. However, if they're determined, they'll find out that the journey from Town Hall 1 to higher levels has become significantly easier. So, while the game might look long, these changes give new players a chance to make steady progress. But what happens if everyone catches up? If the majority of active players reach the max Town Hall, what will keep them playing? Supercell has anticipated this, and their strategy likely involves regular updates to keep the top level fresh with new features like customization and equipment upgrades. The impact of this strategy has already become noticeable. Take a look at the Halloween event, which was followed by a major Hammer Jam event, and then a new Town Hall release. These events, combined with the new upgrade reductions, created a massive surge in player excitement. The increased access to free loot and magic items has given players the tools to make real strategic progress. With each update, Supercell is showing they're serious about making Clash of Clans accessible, rewarding, and fun for a wider range of players. Now, a bad thing about this strategy is, if everyone eventually reaches max level, we'll likely see clans filled primarily with players at the highest Town Hall level. This trend is already noticeable, and while newer players wouldn't be too far behind, they might find it harder to join clans that support their growth, especially since higher level players don't know about how easily new players can catch up now. Still, reaching max level isn't necessarily a negative outcome. Clash of Clans has always been about the journey, the cycle of upgrading, strategizing, and evolving your village over time. It was never just about completing everything, but about the steady progression that keeps the game alive. If Supercell can continue to introduce meaningful progression for top-level players, they can keep maxed players engaged, offering fresh challenges and goals that inspire ongoing investment in the game. Supercell has found a clever solution to this potential problem. By releasing a new Town Hall every year instead of every 1.5 years, they can keep the game fresh for top players while maintaining an achievable path for newer ones. They monitor extensive data on player progress to determine the optimal pacing for each release, ensuring that players can progress comfortably but still have new goals to work toward. By spacing out larger town halls every second year, Supercell can keep the game engaging for the long term, balancing between player satisfaction and the need to monetize updates. Overall, these recent updates have been a win for players. The game is now more accessible and less daunting, thanks to faster progression and a wider range of events that keep the game lively and rewarding. Players have more control over their progress than ever, and the journey to max level feels achievable, even for free-to-play players. The excitement of new town halls, reduced upgrade times, and a well-planned event calendar have made Clash of Clans more engaging than it has been in years. So, will there ever come a time when everyone maxes out? The answer is yes, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Obviously, if a player can't play for a while because of real-life work, study, or anything that comes in first place, he will be left behind for a while. But still, catching up wouldn't be a problem if they ever decide to come back. Supercell's smart approach to pacing and updates ensures that when players do reach max level, there's still plenty to keep them engaged. As long as they continue to innovate with new content, upgrades, and ways to personalize our villages, Clash of Clans will remain a game where the journey is as rewarding as the destination.
That bit where the super wizard comes out of the tavern and kicks